Hello! Hello everyone, hello listeners on the internet. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm the Nintendo 3DS that you haven't used in 6 months, Affy.
Hello. I'm definitely looking forward to the next iteration of Nintendo, what's it called? The Virtual Boy. There we go.
Right, and for anyone who's just decided to listen, what we've got here is an impromptu chat between some admins at Nintendo Manchester. So we've got the lovely, wonderful Lord and Saviour, Affy.
How do? That's me. Yep, hello. My brain just went blank then, sorry.
That's right, and we've got the king of the snappy snaps with the camera, Graham.
Well, yeah, hello. It's the first time I've ever been called a king of anything, really, but yes, hello.
And of course we've got me, I guess, the host, since I'm recording this, I don't know, Andy. So, yeah, there we go.
Woo!
Right, well, it's recorded.
This is going very, very well.
How many drinks have we had?
Okay, so
Okay.
what we thought we'd do anyway with this podcast is we'll just sit down and discuss various Nintendo things that have happened over the last week a bit. So let's start with Affy then. What have you picked out for us this evening?
Well, to start out with, we've got the upcoming online tournament for Mario Tennis Aces on the Nintendo Switch, and that's going to be running from the 1st of June till the 3rd of June.
Awesome. Can you tell us a bit more about it? Is it a tennis game? Or?
Yeah, so Mario Tennis Aces for the Nintendo Switch follows along the lines of previous Mario Tennis games in the franchise that have been on, say, the 3DS and the Wii, and probably further back than my memory will have me remember right now. But basically what Nintendo are doing is, before the game releases at the end of June, they're having an online tournament demo for everybody to get involved with that owns a Switch. And for the 3 days that it's available, you can get online and play some nice tennis matches against some people.
Awesome stuff.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds really good. So it's going to be it's completely free. Anyone can download it if they have a Switch.
Yep, all you need is an online connection. And what I do know that most people might not be aware of is, if you download and play this demo and then do end up purchasing the game later on, you get an outfit for the game from this demo, which is also, a nice little touch from Nintendo. Then.
Is that similar to what Game Freak did with the demos of Pokémon in the past?
Oh, where the save data carries over in some instances. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can carry the items over, and I think, is it 1 or 2 Pokemon or whatever it is?
Yeah,
like a shiny Metagross or something, wasn't it?
That was a download thing. You're thinking of like the Mega Glalie, for example, in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Yes, I am. But that's still pretty sweet.
I'm really looking forward to trying that, because really the only tennis games I ever remember playing, the Nintendo tennis games I ever remember playing, are the one on the Game Boy, and that's going back.
That is going back.
That is going back. I lots of others are just tennis games aren't really for me, but I give this a shot. The free trial, it might win me over, and hopefully it'll take my mind off Wimbledon.
Just give it a drop shot, as it were.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Are you talking a normal tennis? It was just called Tennis on the Game Boy, or was it a Mario Tennis series?
I think it was just called Tennis. Now, obviously, I'm not too sure on this. Hopefully, our listeners can get back to us on this and let us know. But yeah, I think it was just called Tennis. In the same way as we just had golf. And
yeah.
That wasn't Mario Golf. That was just golf. So just I think this other one was. Yeah. So I think this other one was just tennis. So obviously, if I'm wrong on there, please get in touch with us and let us know.
We won't need any of that, because I just got very curious quickly to see what the game was that I'd played. The original iteration that you're referring to was for the Game Boy Color, and it was called Mario Tennis, but in Japan it was Mario Tennis 64.
On the Game Boy?
Yeah, on the Game Boy Color, of all things.
Well, I was about to say, because I had Mario Tennis on the N64, loved it. I think that was the first time that Waluigi was introduced as well.
It would have
I
probably
think it
been.
was. Yeah, no, I think you're right on that one, Andy, because remember
Wah.
we've had Wario for years and years, and then all of a sudden we're like, who are we going to get for Luigi? And then it just pops up, and there we go.
It's now a thing.
Yeah, and as many of our members of the community would love to tell you, he's a fan favorite along with Wario.
Yeah, everyone seems to like the baddies.
Oh, of course.
I certainly would chime in and say everyone seems to love impersonating them, walking around from time to time.
That's what I was trying to get to, mate. Yeah, the amount of wow we get.
That should be our intro.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, no.
It's all going wah.
But there was another another tennis game on the wonderful Virtual Boy, wasn't there?
There was?
Was yes, I think there was. The earliest game that I can find here on a Nintendo console that was just titled Tennis was Tennis for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh. So there wasn't one on the Game Boy?
On
the original Game Boy?
See.
Okay.
I'll have a look.
Well, while Afi researches that, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Game Boy Tennis.
Game Boy Tennis.
Found it, yeah. Sorry, Game Boy Tennis. On the cover, it's two people playing tennis, and Mario is the umpire. Sorry, that's why. There you go.
Sweet.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Graham, the Game Boy Color one that you're on about, I had that as well. Wasn't there some kind of connection between that and the N64 version using the transfer pack?
Oh, there was with the transfer pack. Yes. I never really played either version, so I'm a bit stumped on this one. I do remember reading about that in one of the Nintendo magazines, the official Nintendo magazine, and they did actually show what you could do. But I'm pretty stumped on this, to be quite honest with you, mate. Hopefully, Happy seems to have the keyboard out at the moment, so we might be able to fill us in on that one.
With a copy of Mario Tennis for the Nintendo 64, a Nintendo 64, a transfer pack, and a copy of Mario Tennis for the Game Boy Color, it is possible to transfer information between the two versions of the game. Blah, blah, blah. In other words, you can transfer your characters between the 64 and Game Boy Color game there.
Neat.
Also, another fact that I'm completely unaware of until now, the Game Boy Color version of Mario Tennis was re-released for the Nintendo 3DS Virtual Console.
It was.
Oh!
Totally didn't know that.
You could download it and play it now.
Absolutely.
Well, maybe not now. We're doing this.
Well,
no.
Where's my 3DS? Oh, there it is.
But I have to admit, I've not been... I hate to say it, I've not been interested in the Mario Tennis series since then. And we're talking, 98, 99?
Yeah, that's going back. I mean, the only one I've played was Mario Tennis Open, which was for the Nintendo 3DS. And I remember it was being demonstrated at a Nintendo demonstration stand in Manchester in the Arndale Centre. And I think if I remember rightly, they had a thing where if you went with your 3DS and copy of the game, you could unlock a special character for that game for the 3DS version.
Oh.
I don't remember what the character was because I've got it back quite a short while and I've slept since then. But yeah,
it's probably the Shy Guy, mate. Really,
it'd have been that one. Yeah, Yoshi, something, I don't know.
Going down the Mario Kart route, Shy Guy or Yoshi. So with this online tournament anyway, that's available on the Switch very soon online. Is it like a full-on tournament, 1-on-1 or 2-on-2?
So for the Mario Tennis Aces Nintendo Switch online demo, on the eShop it says aspiring aces can take to the court as Mario, Peach, Yoshi or Bowser to face off against other tennis hopefuls in online tournament matches or sharpen your skills by practicing against the computer.
What about
so it says number of online players will be 2, so I'm assuming you can do doubles?
Could be. Might be able to.
Well, I suppose we'll just have to boot it up on the 1st of June this weekend coming up and find out for ourselves.
As of this recording, that's only a couple of days away, isn't it?
Ah, the excitement is all there. Well, I mean, I've never really been massively excited for a Mario Tennis game or like any kind of Mario sport game, really. But I don't know. There's something about seeing aces in the Nintendo Direct.
International, really.
Well, yeah. Yeah, just
Yeah.
little sports game generally for me,
Yeah.
really. Yeah, there was. I don't know when I was watching like the direct with it, and it was just kind of like it looks like there's like a kind of story mode to it happening as well. It just looks interesting. I don't know. They look really good in nice definition there.
Right, so you heard it not here first.
Definitely not.
It's happening in a few days. So download it now. Now!
You actually can download the demo now, right this second as I'm speaking, from the eShop. However, it'll just say that this service is unavailable until the 1st. So get it on your Switch anyway, folks.
Yeah, get prepared.
I actually have my Switch in my hand, and I will be going to the shop right now, and I'll be doing it.
Ah, sweet. Well, while you do that, Graham, do you want to tell us about something you want to discuss?
Oh, how long have we got about this one?
Let me
How
guess.
7
long
seconds.
do we have? I would like to talk to you about a game that I'm so excited about. So excited, in fact, I'm actually more excited about this game than I am of any other game so far this year. Even more so than Red Dead Redemption 2, and that is saying something. This game is called Yoku's Island Express.
So anyway,
And that's all the time we have for tonight, folks. Oh.
No worries. Yes, I was lucky enough to play Yoku's Island Express demo at EGX last year. In fact, it was the very last game I played, so it was the one game you couldn't really forget about. It just left
it lingered in your memory.
impression. It was very clear in my memory, and it's been very clear in my memory ever since, really. Yes, Yoku's Island Express. It's about a dung beetle.
A dung beetle.
And it's an action. It is. It's a dung beetle in an action adventure pinball game, which has a Metroidvania elements to it as well.
Well, that sounds interesting. That sounds unique, certainly.
It does. I mean, we have Yoku who's connected to a white ball. I think they've really missed the trick here because this white ball is so smooth. It's not a dried piece of feces. But it's a ball nonetheless. And I honestly, I cannot tell you how excited I am about this game. The game looks absolutely superb, mate. It really does.
Are we talking a sort of platformer, or is it free roaming?
It's like I said, it's more of a Metroidvania kind of game. So we've got this huge world that's there, but you can only access parts of the level of the world when you manage to acquire new skills. And the way that you acquire the new skills is by collecting fruit.
Right.
And then the fruit is like a currency. And then once you go to certain characters within the game or certain parts within the game, you'll be able to get new skills. And the flippers in the game as well. Actually, you get new flippers as well, so they'll be able to take you to different parts of the game. You to unlock different skills such as swimming and things like that. Graphics look absolutely amazing. It sounds amazing. It plays really, really well at the moment from what I remember of it. And it just seems like it's one of these, it's going to be one of these successes that not really many people are going to know about until it finally comes out.
So you say it's like a Castlevania sort of thing. Are we talking 2D?
It is, yeah. It is. It's a 2D pinball game. Just think back and just think of the absolutely awful Sonic Spinball. Look at how that actually looked. Hey, yeah, it looks all right, but it played awful. But just think about that. It's a full world. Whereas in Sonic Spinball, it was just like a table. It was just up and down. This one is like a full-on world. You've got everything from jungle, it's like a bit of a desert area as well. some of the characters in there are absolutely beautiful. You know, everything about this game. And honestly, I'm blabbing here. I am really blabbing here. I'm just.
So
I get.
is it by an indie developer?
It's being published by the wonderful people at Team 17.
Ah,
Yeah, the lovely people who brought us Overcooked and Worms. So this is for me, it's another reason to be a little bit excited about this.
and Project X on the
Uh,
Amiga.
yeah, I don't remember that one, but yeah, there
That
you
was a
go.
great
Yeah.
game.
If you want to show your age, then yeah, go for it.
Yeah. There's got to be a voice for the older generation, hasn't there?
Well, if you want to take that upon yourself, you do you.
To be honest, I thought that was going to fall on me, but Andy, you can have that, mate. You can have it if you want.
Pretty sure Andy's older than you, isn't he?
I don't know. I'll just take the looks part of it.
Oh, yeah. Short straw, mate.
Well, anyway, I will take the opportunity here just to chime in a little bit about Yoku's Island Express. That the team that have made the game are called Villa Gorilla. They are like an indie development team, and they've been working on the game for quite some time. And the open world nature of it just works so well with the little pinball areas they've put in between.
Yeah.
And
It's like two genres that are coming in together, and it's two genres that shouldn't work together, but they do.
they've made it work so incredibly well.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
And obviously, like as of we're recording now, the game releases tomorrow on May 29th. And I can say without actually getting like a Nintendo Ninja coming down upon me that I've been playing the game today, and it's just it's just so fantastic. It's beautiful. I can't wrap my head around how amazing the game is on the Switch.
I think honestly, I think it's going to be when it comes to like Game Awards and things. I think it's going to be one of those. It's going to be very highly recognized.
Definitely.
It's just come out of nowhere for this one. It's a sort of game that these games don't come around very often.
And I've never heard of it at all.
Oh, okay.
I hadn't heard about it until about an hour before we started recording.
Okay.
So I know absolutely nothing. So it's been really handy to hear it all from all of you, for both of you even.
Yeah, I must admit. I must apologise. I have been blabbing a lot about this, but I am just a little bit too excited about it. It's just yeah, it's something I just really can't wait to get my hands on. I was trying to see if I could get it today, but no, it's not allowing me to play it. It's not being friendly.
But you've already like pre-downloaded it, so come midnight
I have,
tonight.
yes, it'll be available at 12:01, but I probably won't be able to get a chance to play it until I finish work tomorrow. So,
It's not a long wait though, is it?
oh no.
That's all right. So anyway, be sure to pick it up from the eShop on the 29th of May onwards.
And
Yes.
even though it's no good for people when they listen to this, if you pre-order it before that date, you get 10% off on the eShop. Yay!
Yeah.
And you can also use your gold coins to get another little bit discount. So you got an extra 70p off.
Oh, cheeky.
Cheeky
I
70p.
know. Can't even buy a packet of chewing gum for that, but you never know. Better in my pocket.
Well, trust me, the game is worth the full amount that it is on the eShop.
Oh,
And
of
it's
course
not an
it is.
expensive game. It's like £14 something, but
Yeah.
from what I've played of it already today, it's just beautiful.
It is. I must actually to pipe in just before we finish with this one as well. It is actually a multi-format game. It is out on all three consoles plus PC, but I personally believe it will work better on the Switch. I think just the whole look of it, the portability of it as well, of the console, actually having the pinball flippers just on the bus as well. It is the sort of game. It suits the Switch so much more than pretty much any other console on there. If you want a more unique experience, please, just give it a shot on the Switch. Hopefully, a demo would be released, but I'm not entirely sure if one will come out. But if it does, download it and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And it will be one of the best £14 something that you will ever spend on a game this year, in my opinion.
I'm
Agreed.
gonna have to have a look at that. Okay, well,
So, Andy,
yeah. So since we've all started off with talking about games, I thought I'd talk about one which I don't know how we're gonna get this through the censors, but I'm gonna.
happy, be quiet, mate. He's on about census here. We don't want you like ruining it as well with your foul mouth and.
I didn't say a word. I'm waiting with bated breath because if Andy talks about what I think he's going to talk about, I'm leaving the room.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm kidding.
Right, so I'm going to try and be name the game as accurately as possible. But anyway, last week there was an update released for a game that just recently came out on the Switch. It's been out on other platforms for a while now. It is South Park: The Fractured But
Whole.
Whole. Yes, there we go. I think we can get past with that. Well, that's what it's called. I'm going to call it Fractured from now on, because then we'll know what it's on about. But yeah.
I don't know. I mean, with the spelling of the game, you can get away with it.
Yeah, but spoken, though.
Okay.
So the game came out, what was it, about a month ago, and a lot of people had been experiencing game-breaking bugs when they go into, I think it's the D-Mobile shop to start another mission. And that's it. It'll crash, it'll freeze, and it will wipe out all your saves, which isn't what you want.
Which is less than ideal for a game that's been out already on other platforms and has come to the Switch a little bit later on after being ported.
Not to mention as well, and this is all happening before Nintendo's online services the subscription is available, so you can't put your saves on the cloud. So that's it. Once they're deleted, they're gone.
They gone, son. They gone.
They're gone.
Oh no.
But there were a few other bugs mentioned there as well. But that was the biggest one. In fact, I picked up the game on day one because I was really eager to jump onto it, especially on the Switch. I could just play on the train to work and what have you. It would be great. But as soon as I heard about the bug, I stopped playing because I didn't want to experience that. But nonetheless, anyway, Ubisoft released a patch for it last week, and it's fixed not only that, but a number of other bugs as well. So hopefully, I mean, if you bought the game and you are holding off from playing it in case you get this horrible bug that just wipes everything out, be sure to update, and you should be able to carry on without any problems.
Awesome.
So that's but I wanted to get the word out because what I want to do now is I want to jump back onto it. But I've been sidetracked by other games.
We all know how that feels.
Yeah. I seem to buy one game and then partway through it, another game comes out and you get too enticed into that one and then you just don't do it. I mean, I've still only about probably collected about 200 moons on Mario Odyssey. You know, I've still got a hell of a lot more to go through on that one, so I know exactly what it's like. I know.
What are you doing, man?
Zelda DLC's taking its time, Splatoon as well, you know.
But, I mean, did you guys ever play South Park Fractured?
I haven't played Fractured But Whole, but I have played The Stick of Truth, which is the game's predecessor.
Yeah, I've played the both of them.
And what were your thoughts?
My thoughts of the Fractured But Whole it's a very, very funny game to start off with. The battle mechanics are so much better. You could put so much thought into your battles there. It's not just facing your enemy like in Stick of Truth. Now you've got like a little board with like squares on the floor, and you can move around, and you can only attack certain characters, certain enemies from certain positions. Certain attacks will only work within a certain amount of spaces on the grid. So you've got to put a hell of a lot more thought into your battles in order to succeed.
I never played the Stick of Truth, so I didn't know it was linear in its battle mode.
It was very linear, but it was still it still had the South Park like charm behind it, which for me still it never tired, it never got boring, it never, you know, the jokes never really fell stale for me.
Hmm.
I still think everything worked in there, but the battle system was linear. But compared to this, it is actually pretty poor because they've improved on it they've improved on it quite a lot. And like I said, you've got to put a lot more thought into the battles now.
But there are
And
people who
yeah.
say that they prefer Stick of Truth over Fractured.
Oh, I don't know many people who do, but um, I think story wise, yes. Story wise, the Stick of Truth has its story is so much stronger. Um, in my opinion, the Fractured Butthole story, like I said, it starts off really, really well. It's the amount of references it uses towards the whole superhero genre is it's amazing. It really is.
Mm.
They've put so much thought into it, and like I think just before the game was released, I think it was Trey Parker or Matt Stone. They was
One of the
rushed into
two.
hospital. Yeah, rushed into hospital for a I think it was pan oh pancreas.
Pancreatic cancer or something.
No, was it pancreas or
Well, he was
anyway?
rushed into hospital.
Yeah, he had to go in for an emergency surgery, but he was asking if he could come out early so he could finish the game. And they were recording lines for the game literally about a week or so before it was released.
Oof,
Yeah,
that's
so
cutting it
I think
close.
a lot of the jokes and everything like that they were very very recent.
Blimey.
Uh,
I mean, I always thought that that people had a preference between the two because they either preferred like stuff like Lord of the Rings or the Marvel movies.
yes,
And you see, that's why I
like I
couldn't.
said,
I couldn't get
sorry. Come on.
into. At least I don't think I could get into the Stick of Truth because I never watched Lord of the Rings.
Right, okay. It wasn't just Lord of the Rings, really. They were just taking the mick out of pretty much that whole genre. But if you watched Lord of the Rings and a few of the films on that genre, you would understand it a little bit more. But yeah, I think with the Fractured But Whole, the way that they've done it, they've tapped into taking the mick out of the MCU. Even on the Netflix TV shows, I think part of the storyline was they were doing absolutely everything so they can make a Coon and Friends Netflix television show.
Hmm.
And there was two factions within the game. You had the Coon and Friends and another faction as well. I think they were led by Mysterion.
Mysterion's
And they
cool.
were like, yeah, but they were fighting against each other to try and like who has the better franchise. And but yeah, it started off so well for me, but the end of it, I think it just kind of dragged a little bit. I'm not going to be talking about any spoilers on here. I urge you to go out and play it, make your own mind on it, mind up on it. But it's still a fantastic game, and it's still worth all the effort you put into it.
Absolutely, I've been really enjoying it, and I'm hoping to get some more time in to finish it. Well, at least get to the end of the main story. I don't know if there's anything beyond that other than the DLC, which I think is a separate
Um,
purchase.
yeah, I've not played any of the DLC just yet, so I'm looking forward to giving that a shot. Uh, I don't think it's not out on the Switch yet, is it? The DLC?
No, the DLC hasn't come to the Switch yet. It's coming
Has
like
it not? No,
late
that's why I
this
haven't
year, I
played it.
believe.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
the
why I've not played it.
options. I think the options are on the eShop. At least it lists them and
Okay,
says these are available. Well, will be available, should I say? Right,
cool.
right. So anyway, yeah. To summarise, if you've got South Park: The Fractured But Whole on the Switch, be sure to download that update so you can continue playing unabated. Someone applauding.
Yes,
Like
I'm
slow
clapping.
clap.
Well, la di da.
Okay. So Afi, is there anything else you want to discuss for tonight?
I think we'll move on from what we were talking about. Let's just take a moment, just make it a little bit more conversational, rather than just piling on about specific things for a moment.
Mhm.
How many times recently, because I know the conversation came up a moment ago actually, how many times recently have you bought a game and then just not played on it and then just keep meaning to get around to it and just not quite there yet?
Oh, so many times, man. So many times.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that as well. I think there was quite a few games, not just for Nintendo, but for other consoles as well. It's you pick it up. I put about 5 minutes into it or 10 minutes into it. You get right into it, and then you forget about the other game. So I've even got to a stage where I'm not buying any more games now until I've finished the others, and then hopefully just waiting for the game that I want to just maybe go down in price a little bit. Being a bit cheap.
But yeah, some of them really do get well, relatively expensive when they first came out. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
understandable to wait for it. I mean, I'm waiting for Doom to drop in price for the Switch.
yes.
I've got it on PS4, but I want to play it on the train.
That's your go-to for every one of your Switch games, isn't it, Andy? I just want to play it on the train, not in the bathroom or not like while I'm in bed or while I'm out in the park. I just want to play it on the train.
Yeah, don't you? But absolutely, yeah. I want to be able to take it out and just play it wherever, whenever, with whomever.
Are you also looking forward to Wolfenstein 2?
I never played the Wolfenstein series except for the original one. I mean, we're talking
Okay.
original.
Right, okay. Well, if you do go for Wolfenstein 2, let me tell you, you are in for a complete surprise. It's an amazing game.
All
It
right,
really is.
in for a
I,
treat.
lo- I look forward. I look forward to see how it actually turns out. If it turns out as well as I think Doom's turned out quite okay, hasn't it?
I've just heard very, very popular opinions, positive kind of things about Doom,
Yeah.
other than the fact that the online multiplayer is like a separate download thing through the eShop,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
splitting hairs.
Yeah, that's isn't that what another 12 gig or something you're downloading for the multiplayer?
I think
Pretty
it is.
much.
Yeah.
That's incredible. But still,
Yep.
nonetheless, I mean,
So
in order to get that game on the Switch, how big are the cartridges? What, 32 gig?
ish.
Yes, they're currently 32.
Yeah, so, and then you got another 12 gig, so 44 gig. Let's just say 12. But the original game on the PC, I think, is in the region of about 80 or 90 gig. So they've done a pretty good job to cram it down, scale it down, and have it on a portable system.
Yeah. It's an outstanding achievement.
Really is, and an astounding, a way of showing off what the Switch is capable of.
Yeah. Absolutely. It just goes to show that, if you're managing to get Doom and Wolfenstein running at a steady frame rate on a handheld, what else can we be looking forward to in future?
Fallout, please.
Yes, Fallout 4.
Just Fallout 4 or 3 remastered or New Vegas or just give me some Fallout for the Switch.
That would be awesome.
I'm not a huge Fallout fan, I'm really sorry to say.
Oh.
I don't get me wrong, I played through Fallout 3. It took me so long to get into it, but I eventually loved it. So I bought New Vegas and I bought 4, and now they don't do it for me. Number 3 was amazing, but those other two, they just don't do it for me, I'm afraid. But I know I'm in the minority here because a lot of people do love these series. So yeah, absolutely, bring it on, bring it out, and
Well, I know,
yeah, that's.
well, you're not alone with that thought because, as I understand it, I think a lot of people are divided between the first two and the second three, I suppose. I think after Fallout 2, the developers changed, so it was a wholly different game, if I remember correctly.
Well, certainly for Fallout New Vegas, Bethesda handed it over to Obsidian to handle the game, and then obviously they did what the fans have called such a good job of it that it's kind of become one of the popular ones of the franchise. Even though 3 and 4 have been widely successful, New Vegas still remains the big fan favorite of the franchise.
Wasn't Vegas supposed to be in 3? Wasn't it like a DLC or part of the game, but it turned out so big that they just released it as a standard game? Am I correct in saying that?
I don't know.
I would have to look it up.
I'm certain that New Vegas was actually not supposed to be a standalone game. It was supposed to be included with 3, or parts of it with 3, or maybe like a vast majority of it was going to be in 3, and then they just decided to make a new game of it. I'm sure.
Maybe they had so many ideas for it. They thought,
Yeah.
well, this is too good for a DLC.
Yes, maybe that's where I'm coming from, but I know something along those lines with it. So
But still, yeah, Fallout 4 on the Switch, that would be brilliant. I'd go through that again, even though I haven't finished it on other consoles. I haven't finished it yet. I'm one of those
no, neither have I.
Yeah, I'm one of those kind of people who, if they've got a game and they've got all the DLC with it, I want to finish the main game first before I dip my toe into the DLC.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
For fear of it ruining the main story experience, for want of a better phrase. But yeah, haven't finished it.
cool.
Get on with it.
What other games are we hoping we can bring over?
Ooh,
I say we as if we're responsible.
yes, we will decide.
We will be. I mean, we're now just talking on a podcast. Hopefully, we'll have a lot of listeners coming in and agreeing with us, and maybe going on to online chat sites and things, and talking about what they want, and hopefully create enough noise for developers to listen.
Absolutely. I
won't be
mean,
the only
the
people
likes
doing
of
it, so-
Psyonix, who were harassed at endlessness for Rocket League to come to the Nintendo Switch, and they were always, well, we've got no plans for this, and then suddenly out of the blue, here's Rocket League for the Switch. And I know the same can be said for Team 17, because when I actually spoke to somebody from Team 17, they said to me that the last Worms game, Worms WMD, was obviously really popular, but it wasn't planned to be brought to the Switch until the amount of fan feedback that was like, please put it on the Switch, it would be brilliant. So they just went, well, let's give it a try and see how it goes.
There
It
is
turned out
something
pretty
about
well.
Team 17. There is something about Team 17 games that would work so well on the Switch, though, isn't there? I mean, they've got that charm about the games, and those, putting it on portable and just take it out with you. There's so much charm with them. I think a lot of Team 17 games just suit the Nintendo Switch so much.
Oh, absolutely. Team 17 only choose what they view to be some of the best games to publish, which is why they've picked up the likes of Yoku's Island Express and Yooka-Laylee.
Yeah.
There's one that's coming out, I think, next year from a Kickstarter called My Time at Porsche that's going to be coming to the Switch. So there's just absolutely all sorts.
So the Team 17 are bringing out like old classics like Worms, but also newer titles like Overcooked.
Yeah.
I wonder what. I mean, there are other developers that are doing a similar thing, aren't there? I mean, is it next month? I think there's a flashback collector's edition coming out for the Switch.
Oh, have
There
you
is,
seen
yes.
have you seen the box for that and everything, and they put it out on
I've got it on my screen now.
It was in a SNES cartridge, and
Yeah.
I've not seen a European version of that, but I have seen the Nintendo of America version, the dodgy little cartridge that they have, and it does look amazing. It really does. But like I said, I've not seen a European version, so I'm gonna have to keep my eye out for that one because I do want it.
Oh, yeah. I would say another game in that kind of vein of things as well would be the latest from Way Forward, which is Shantae Half Genie Hero, which they've just released on the Switch, and they've done a physical collector's edition. And I'm pretty sure, Andy, you got the collector's edition, so you could probably describe it a little bit better than what I could.
Yeah, I'm looking at it in my shelf now. I've got to be honest, when Shantae first came out, I mean, just the original one, not a collector's edition or anything. I remember, Afi, you were saying, oh, why didn't you get this one? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I've never played it before, so I'm not too interested. But then the collector's edition was scheduled to come out, was that last month? And it was at a really good price. So I snapped it up. And I think it's a day one edition. It's got all the DLC included. It's got an art book. It's got an audio CD. And I'm really enjoying it. It's such a nice, clean graphical game. The graphics on it are so nice and sharp and crisp. And the gameplay on it is really nice as well. Essentially, it's a platformer. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
It's a platformer, but with pirates.
Pirates, arr.
Arr.
Well, with the
Well,
pirate, yeah, with the pirate queen and Shantae and Sky, I think, who helps you get from one place to another, and various other people as well. But yeah.
Well, Shantae has become another very, very popular indie series now. I mean, I've got Shantae and the Pirate's Curse on the Wii U. I know there's 3DS versions as well, and now obviously Half Genie Heroes on the Switch. So if there's one thing that I would love more people to take away as Nintendo fans, and certainly now that people have got the Switch, is if you see there's all these indie games coming out, and you just go, I'm not sure because I've never tried it. Seriously, find someone that's got it already. Maybe give it a try, because so many of these games will get overlooked. Because let's face it, the Switch eShop is currently full of just indie releases week after week. So there's some that are falling under the radar.
Yeah, you're getting something stupid like 10 games a week or something coming out on the Switch, maybe more or less. It's crazy.
I'll be honest with you, for the past couple of weeks from press releases, there's been upwards of 23 Switch games on the eShop a week sometimes.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing YouTube videos crop up maybe every other week saying there are 20 or 30 new games coming out in the next couple of weeks, and it honestly doesn't surprise me.
It's crazy.
But Afi, shall I blow your mind?
Go on.
That's not going to take much.
There's also a Shantae on the Game Boy Color.
My God, is that? I didn't know that.
Oh yes.
So it does go that far back. That's impressive. I am impressed.
And I've had a quick go at it as well, and strangely, a lot of it is the same. The mechanics are the same. Maybe the art style is slightly different, but it all works exactly the same.
Well, as they say in the industry, if it ain't broke,
include a DLC patch for it or something.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to touch on something that Afi's just said there as well, actually, about the amount of games that are actually coming out for the Switch. And he just said to try and find somebody who does have a Switch. If you can't afford it, or there's too many games to choose from. This is actually a bit of a shameless plug, but come on to one of our events.
Yeah, when you said you were going to do a shameless plug, I thought you were going to say, buy my game. It's coming out on the eShop.
If Graham had a game and I didn't know about it, I'd be surprised, impressed, and very critical.
Graham's Grand Adventure.
Graham's Grand Adventure. Switch. Yeah, Graham's Grand Adventure. The first chapter is just him piling in the booze.
Yeah. And trying to climb back into bed at the end of the day without snoring.
Yeah.
We have that many people here who come to our events who do have Nintendo Switches, and they do buy a lot of these smaller games, the indie games, and the community is so friendly.
Right, so Graham, did you have anything to add? Another topic you wanted to talk about?
I do. I believe it was sometime last week that there was a trademark that was filed in Japan, apparently. Now, this is rumors, so...
here we go. We're in the rumor territory now, folks. So whatever we say here, take with a pinch of salt.
Yeah,
nothing is being confirmed in this podcast.
No.
Except
but
for
there
this.
are a lot of news outlets actually touching up on this, and I'm going to be quoting Live. And the trademark is from Nintendo that they've applied for the Nintendo 64. So, does this mean we are getting the Nintendo 64 Mini?
If it does, throw all your money at the screen now, gentlemen, because...
So this is actually going to be like a... Sorry,
I do like that idea. My concern, because I have heard this rumor as well, but my concern is there's not going to be any rare games on it.
No, this is the huge problem with it. I mean, we probably will get like a couple, maybe like Donkey Kong 64, games that are actually belong to Nintendo. So, but this is the discussion I wanted to bring up with you two, actually. And I know a lot of people have already done this, really. Ever since the NES and the SNES classics came out, everybody always discussed, if the N64 one came out, what games would you put on it? So, I'm going to put that question out to you two.
Well,
So let's have a
before
discussion. Which
before we
games
do that,
from?
shall we
Okay.
explain to our listeners why it's entirely possible that no rare games will be on the N64 Mini if one were made?
And then we'll
That's
have a counter argument for the opposite.
Yeah, the reason why a lot of rare games that won't be coming out on the Nintendo 64 Mini, if this is an actual thing, is because unfortunately a lot of those properties are owned by Rare, and Rare is now owned by Microsoft.
And that's Microsoft with
Uh,
a
s-
dollar sign instead of an S.
yeah, that's the one. Yeah, and there are certain games as well, which I think, if I'm correct in saying, with GoldenEye, that one is owned by both. I think is it Activision. Activision have the James Bond license.
Probably at time of recording.
So
It shifts its
yeah,
hands a lot.
yeah. So it was Activision who had the license for that. Then you had Rare that had like licenses for maps and things. I'm not sure. I think there's a lot of grey areas with GoldenEye. So correct me if I'm wrong.
Not to mention
But
the
we won't be
likeness
getting.
of the actors as well.
Well, yes, of course, yeah. But then we won't be getting games like obviously Banjo Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Jet Force Gemini.
Perfect
Blast
Dark.
Corps. Perfect Dark, Perfect Dark. We will not be getting any
Oh.
games like this. So it takes a huge chunk out of the Nintendo 64's possible library. But there are a lot more games that Nintendo have done, and obviously others from other third-party companies. So I'm going to questions of what I'd like to see, and then hopefully if the rest of you can chime in on the rest of it.
Sure, yeah.
I think the very, very first game that has to be announced for it is the very first game that came out for the system, which will be Super Mario 64. That is an absolute no-brainer.
It's a
Yeah.
necessity at this
And I'm going
point.
to start. Yeah, I'm going to Super Mario Kart 64, or just Mario Kart 64.
Yeah.
Um, Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
And it would be an absolute crime if we don't put Majora's Mask on there as well. So we'll
Well, of course.
include that there as well. And Pilot Wings 64,
Mm,
Wave Race 64.
Yes.
yes.
Uh,
That was an
Don-
excellent game. That was my second ever N64 game, that Wave Race.
Donkey Kong 64. I know it's not a huge favorite of some people, but it still had a fair following.
Now
Um,
that one might work because Donkey Kong is Nintendo's IP,
yeah,
but
I mean,
it
if you
happened
look
to
at
be
the
Rare that
SNES
made it.
Classic, on the SNES Classic, we've got Donkey Kong Country, which was actually made by Rare, and
Oh
Rare's name pop up on the at the beginning of the game as well. So
my goodness, that's a good point.
yeah,
Hence where you'd
so any
pull a
game
kind
that's
of
been
counter argument from for the idea of rare titles not appearing, because obviously, while it may be true that some of it will be owned by Rare and therefore by default by Microsoft, certain things such as Donkey Kong that'll be their own IP, Nintendo's
yes,
that is,
yes,
it's pretty much a case of, yeah, we'll use that, but they could easily work with like people outside the company, say people that now work for Playtonic Games that made Ukulele. They worked for Rare in the past and worked on games such as Donkey Kong, so I don't see why they wouldn't be able to work something out. Please do something.
I know we're all praying for Banjo Kazooie, Banjo Tooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Jet Force Gemini, Blast
Mm.
Corps, Killer Instinct. We're all praying for that sort of thing. But we've just got to be a little bit realistic here, haven't we, boys?
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are going to come out. So I've rammed off a few of my choices. Of it, all of them, I think, Nintendo own franchises. So I haven't listed any third party at the moment. But I'm going to throw the conversation out to you two. What do you think?
I've got one. Lilac Wars.
Lilac Wars was on top of my list as well.
Yes.
I was about to say that and I completely forgot.
But what I
Trust me.
think might be a problem with Lilac Wars is something that's been reflected in the SNES Mini, which I can just see under my telly there. But what they did is with the SNES Mini, they released Star Fox and Star Fox 2, not Star Wing. So they
Yes.
brought out the American one over here.
Yes.
And that means it's likely that it wouldn't be Lilac Wars over here. It would be called Star
It'd be
Fox
Star
64.
Fox 64.
Yeah.
That doesn't. I still think Lilac Wars was the better name.
That was a very good name, given that they were limited.
I think it was far better than Star Fox 64. But I believe no, you're going to be right on that one.
You are right, and the evidence that would back that would remain with Star Fox 64 3D for the 3DS that was released.
Of course,
Yes.
yeah.
Which so something about that I didn't mind. I don't know, because it was a re-release. I don't know,
Yeah.
a remastering, as it were.
What was the main problem with that? I think it was, if I'm correct in saying, was it a German rock band? Or sort of like I think it was a German band. It was called Star Vox with a V, and because a lot of Nintendo's European cartridges were manufactured in Germany, that was the reasoning behind the name change of Lilac Wars.
I'm just looking it up now. I understand that the original name change from Star Fox to Star Wing was down to a game that was already released, I think, for the NES, where the copyright was still owned by the company. It might have been even someone like Konami. Don't quote me on this. But yeah, another game company owned the name Star Fox in Europe, so they had to rename it to Star Wing over here.
Ah.
But I'm looking up the Lilac Wars one. Ah, yeah,
Any
here we go.
more?
I found it. I'm just gonna quote it here from Wikipedia. The game was known as Lilac Wars in some territories because Nintendo considered that Star Fox sounded too similar to the name of a German company, Star Vox, and were concerned that a legal dispute over the name might delay the release of the game.
Okay, it sounds reasonable at least.
There you go.
So,
I knew the name. I thought it was a rock band or something.
I'm sure a rock band was involved in a name copyright thing in gaming.
It's usually the way, though, isn't it? There's always some kind of copyright somewhere along the line.
Yeah. Right, but we're talking about what games might we want releasing on an N64 Mini, should there ever be one. I want to propose two games that I think should come out on the N64 Mini, should there ever be one. And they're both racing games.
Oh, heck, racing games.
I know, right? But not kart ones. More realistic for the time, mid-late 90s. Beetle Adventure Racing.
Never heard of that one.
It's really, really, really nice little game, that is. But all the cars are Beetles, like the modern Beetles.
Makes sense.
And
that would also be a trademark issue with Volkswagen as well, though, wouldn't it?
There might be, unless they're fine with it. If they say they're fine with it, then they might get like a few pence for every N64 sold. They can put it towards their quality assurance for their engine management.
Oh, shade.
Possibly.
So, the second one is, I don't know if there's going to be a copyright issue with this one as well, Top Gear Rally.
I definitely would think there'd be some issues there with the BBC.
But that was an excellent game. I loved it.
Ah, what a game. Yes, I do remember that one.
There was something about
designing my own Union Jack style car as well and saving it onto my memory.
Oh yes, you could do your own designs and save them to your memory card.
Ah, you patriot.
There's a couple anyway. I could probably list out, list several more, but we were here forever. So, Afi, what did you think? What would you have on an N64 Mini?
What I would personally have, Pokemon Snap for definite, because it's such a popular game.
Ah, oh yeah.
The original Paper Mario game.
Oh yes.
Yoshi's Story.
I'm sorry, I'm going to say, Graham, how did we not think of that?
I thought of a couple. It was just ago I was thinking about it, but when I started talking about it, everything Lilac Wars. So,
God, Andy.
Oh no,
yeah,
sorry.
Did we forget about Yoshi's Story? That's
Yoshi's. Yeah. I love Yoshi's Story.
It doesn't.
In fact, I remember I hired that from Blockbuster several times.
Oh, Blockbuster.
Oh,
God
no, right.
bless.
And then when it became available on the Wii Shop channel, I downloaded it.
The last game that I would definitely add that neither of you mentioned, and I'm quite disappointed that neither of you mentioned it, F-Zero X.
Well, that's a Nintendo IP. That would
F-Zero
definitely be on.
Exactly. It
Well, I
has to
hope
be
so.
there.
It came out on the Super Nintendo Mini, so it's yeah. But the thing is, I mean, we've just completely we've had to take out a lot of the rare games, and we've come out with a lot of Nintendo original titles as well as some excellent third-party titles. But if we remember, like, if we looked at the out with, I think it was 30 games.
Yeah.
And the SNES Mini came out with 21, which included Star Fox 2. Are we expecting the Nintendo 64 to come out with less than 20?
I
Or
would not.
be...
I would definitely say that if we had a Nintendo 64 Mini, it would have to be at 30 games against like the NES was. And I would even go as far as saying if they did another unreleased game like they did for the Super NES, I'd be all over that as well.
Well, what
Yeah,
unreleased game would there be?
Some that came out for the 64 disc drive, maybe. Is it Doshin the Giant as well? Maybe put that one on.
Oh, Doshin, yeah. Doshin turns up quite rarely in certain Smash titles such as Melee.
Oh, he does, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other games that we think N64 Mini worthy?
Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards.
Ah. Yeah,
Anytime you get that Kirby game in there, I'm in for it.
Oh,
How about Sin and Punishment? Now, that wasn't actually released apart from when it came out on the Wii's Virtual Console.
Yeah.
Well, there's your unreleased game, I suppose.
Yeah, because that was a very frantic game, that one.
I remember hearing good stories about it, and I think there was a preview about it in N64 magazine. But I'm going to have to say it, I'm afraid. Back in the day, and then back in day, but then they later said, "Oh, right, it's only coming out in Japan, so we're not going to have it over here." Ah.
Yeah.
So, just to end this conversation about the rumored 64 Mini, then. Have we really just gone through a list of games and nobody mentioned Smash? Because I'm impressed.
There's one reason why we haven't mentioned Smash. 4 controllers.
Because it's rubbish.
Because
sorry, you're going to kick me out now.
I mean, that's something else about the N64 Mini as well. You'd have to have 4 ports for the controllers in order to have 4-player.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't see why it wouldn't be possible.
We'll sort that out.
It would be possible.
We'll sort that out.
It would push the price up exponentially.
It would.
And how many controllers even would you get with the console? Because with the NES,
I would believe you would get 2, personally. I think, and then hopefully massive. Nintendo will release. Well, it's funny how you mentioned the controller actually, Andy, because the controller for me, I love the controller. I know it's had a lot of people turn around and say it's one of the worst controllers ever. It wasn't very appealing to the eye, but it was so comfortable. But it had a lot of issues after a while, especially playing games like Mario Party. You know, you kind of wore it out a little bit too much. Yeah, there we go. There's another one. But over time, the 3D stick kind of like wore out. Now, if you look at a lot more 3D sticks that are out now, they're more on a ball. This one was, I think it was a bit of a ball, but it was so tiny and it just wore away very, very easily. So if we're releasing the Nintendo 64 Mini, hopefully we'll have a bit of a revised controller with the 3D stick as well. Hopefully make it a little bit more durable.
Yeah, I would hope so actually, because I don't think I have a single N64 controller which doesn't have a joystick which is very waggly in its neutral position.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember ruining one as a kid, but all the ones that I've got now actually still work, but they are a bit loose. They are a bit waggly, like you say. So hopefully we'll be able to to fix the ball, make it, like I said, make it a little bit more durable.
And you had to get all of that white powder on the inside of the joystick as well.
Yes, yeah, you did. Yeah.
I tell you what, you two should just have a spin-off part for the podcast called Back in Day. Like, back in day, we didn't have portable gaming. Oh wait, yeah, we did. We had the Game Boy. Back in day, we didn't have loads of Pokemon. Well, there was 150, so that's quite a lot.
151.
Yeah, well, the 151st wasn't available unless you had an event to get Mew. So
a Game Genie.
Or cheated, yeah.
Yeah.
God.
And back in day when Andy. There you go. Oh yeah, not films, but gonna have to be done.
Well, hey, at least you know something good. Gaming finally took Eddie Izzard's advice. Scale it down a bit.
Scale it down a bit. Call it a Switch.
Yeah.
Take it with you wherever you go. Only $299.99.
Yeah.
Well, that leads me. That leads me on to the next topic I wanted to discuss.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is the Switch itself.
The actual console.
Yes, because just last week, Nintendo have made the Switch available for sale in Japan as a standalone.
Without the dock, that's right.
Yeah, without the dock and the charger.
No dock, no charger, no Joy-Con grip.
It's literally the Nintendo Switch bundle that's aimed at a household that already has a Switch and a dock and a charger, but would want another console. So, say for example, and we'll probably touch on this a bit later on as well. Say for example, the Pokemon Company put a game on the Nintendo Switch. If you've got two people in the house that both want to play Pokemon, no way in hell are they going to share that Nintendo Switch.
No, that's true. You need two TVs, two docks, unless you both do it, or one of you does it in handheld, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I still think it's a bit of a silly decision not to release it with the charger. Because, I mean, if you're both playing on Pokemon for so long, and, you know, one person's playing it with the, you know, it's, maybe it depends on how many Switches you've got in the household, 3, 4, you're sharing one dock.
Yeah.
So I still think that's a silly decision. I can understand the dock, of course. I can understand that without the TV leads and everything, but the charger, I think,
well, that's...
it's not the same port as the 3DS, is it? I mean, that's the reason why the 3DS didn't really come with chargers later on, because a lot of people already had them from the original DS
Except
3DS as well.
Except a lot of people, when they were upgrading, they would like trade theirs into a second-hand gaming shop.
Yeah, and you had to buy a charger separately.
Yeah, they would always say, right, you have to hand it in with a charger. That's the case, yeah.
I was just going to say, I would say as speculation to the reason why is probably because Type-C leads and chargers are still quite pricey on the market. So if they were to include the adapter but not the dock, it'd still be quite a dear do in the end. So maybe the reason why there is no charger is pricing in itself.
Well, without I mean, at the moment the pricing difference isn't all that much. I mean, let's have a look. So the original Switch package that we all know and love. In Japan, it costs 29,980 yen at time of recording. Yeah, that equates to roughly about £204. It's bargain in Japan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but this new package is only about £34 cheaper at 24,980 yen. So it's only 5,000 yen less. And yet we have to pay, what is it, £60-70 for a dock. It's about £15-20 for the Joy-Con grip. 15 quid for the charger. So, yeah, 34 quid less. It doesn't seem that good a deal.
Yeah, so it's like if it was to come over here, it'll probably be retailed at like $259.99, which a lot of people still say that the Switch originally should have been at that price mark anyway, but let's split hairs on that one.
I think if they went for a flat $250 or $249.99 or something like that, then I think maybe people might go for it. But one thing which I thought was a bit strange about this is, well, two things actually. Firstly, the 3DSs, when they were sold in Japan, they all came with chargers.
Yeah.
Whereas over here, we got ones, a few different ones that had no charger. as you rightly said, Graham, because people were upgrading, they already had a charger. But also as well, this means that they are stepping sort of on their own toes out there, because they've been promoting the Switch as the home console, but now they've given an option to sell it in Japan as if it were a 3DS, as if it was a portable one.
The whole handheld versus home console thing for Nintendo is, I mean, let's face it, everybody in this discussion loves Nintendo, think they're wonderful, but there's always a decision or two somewhere along the line that makes you go, what? Why?
Yeah, it's almost as if in some cases Nintendo's left hand doesn't know what its right hand is doing.
Exactly, to quote an old phrase.
Yeah. So, yeah, I found that rather unusual. I mean, it's great, yeah. It's great to have that option. If you don't need a dock, you don't need another charger, you don't need another Joy-Con grip. I think quite a few people didn't like it.
It's like I was saying before, if you have 2 Switches in the house, it's perfect. If you're having 3 and 4, you are fighting over the charger. You know, you're not going to be able to play together for so long. I mean, unfortunately, you might have to step outside and do something. But
oh my god!
But for those that I know, but for those that absolutely love games like Pokemon and they want to trade and battle and play together all day, and having to fight over one charger, that's it does seem a bit baffling.
Yeah, and not to mention as well is that was it since firmware version 5. It caused a lot of problems with unofficial docks and some of the chargers. So you're better off and playing it safe and getting an official Nintendo charger. So that's another 15 quid on top of the price anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just to add into that, the main third-party dock accessory that was released by a company which I'm not going to name just for certain reasons. They're currently in a legal battle over the entire thing anyway.
They are?
Yes, they are. They're under legal action now due to the fact that those portable docks bricked a lot of people's consoles. So yeah, they're facing legal action over that. So I'm not going to name the name of the company just for that reason.
Right. So, I'm going to open it up to the floor now, guys. Have you got anything else that's on your minds that you want to discuss from this week?
Yes, and this is going to be very, very touchy subject here. So I'm going to say right off the bat that what we talk about from here on is going to be what is called rumors. There is no leaks or spoilers or any confirmed information at all. But let's talk about the rumors for the new Pokemon games on the Switch.
Oh,
I thought that was going to come up.
Well, I mean, I did mention Pokemon for the Nintendo Switch already briefly. So,
not to mention as well, right here, right now, at the moment, there is a show your interest page on Nintendo's UK site for Pokemon on the Switch.
So, at the time of recording, it's going to be announced, hopefully, around the next, 2 to 3 weeks between now and E3, basically.
Ooh, I really want to know what they're getting up to, because I've had so many. I've got so many expectations for them, but I have to admit they've had a very short timetable, so my expectations are scaled down a bit.
What, for Pokemon?
Yeah.
That's not necessarily true, though, is it?
Well, not necessarily.
Okay. Well, let's get into it from the top of things, though. For those that might not be aware of it, the rumor mill is going into complete overdrive at the moment. The Pokemon for the Nintendo Switch is going to be coming in the form of 2 games. Let's Go Pokemon Eevee version and Let's Go Pokemon Pikachu version, which are heavily rumored to be remakes of Pokemon Yellow that will take place in Kanto, but be kind of like a little bit into the future of Kanto than what we played in Red, Blue, Yellow, Fire Red and Leaf Green kind of games.
So would you say it's more like a distant sequel to Yellow?
Yeah, essentially from the rumors, there's rumors that say all sorts. I mean, I've seen rumors that say a post-apocalyptic Kanto and X, Y, and Z things like that. So,
but there's been so much talk about Pokemon on the Switch and so many different rumors and what have you, and I bet everyone's going to have egg on their face when it turns out it's going to be a port of Pokemon Pinball.
I would. I mean, I'll be honest. I wouldn't be mad. I really wouldn't be mad. An enhanced port, please.
Mate, I love that game.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Right, let's start a petition
It
now,
was fun.
gentlemen.
What have I begun? What have I started?
Right. But no, the rumors in themselves talk about these games as having like, you know, they're going to be for the Switch. They're going to be called Pokemon Let's Go. They're going to feature Eevee and Pikachu. They're going to have certain type of relation or connectivity with Pokemon Go. You know, those kinds of things are what the rumor mill is going into overdrive about. But if you just push aside the rumors for the moment, the trademarks for Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu have actually been found. Whether they'll be real or not, we don't know, because in the past, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company have put in copyrights for such as Pokemon Grey, which would have been a game between Black and White, Pokemon Z, things like that have been copyrighted in the past and not used.
Don't forget Stars.
Oh, and the very heavily, widely reported Pokemon Stars that turned out to be wrong. That's what happened when everyone puts too much faith in rumors.
Exactly. That's why we have the warning at the beginning. These are all rumors. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen.
Exactly.
So, yay! Pokemon Pinball on Switch.
Yay! Pokemon Snap 2, bring it!
Hey, you Pikachu 2.
Something from Yoku, that's all.
Yeah. Let's just stick it with Yoku's Island. That's fine.
Oh goodness! The way the things are set up at the moment. What if they did do Hey You Pikachu again for the Switch? You'd have to use your flaming phone.
Oh no!
I mean, give me Pokemon Pinball, give me Pokemon Snap, give me Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Please not Hey You Pikachu. I would not bother with that if it happens. I'm sorry. I love Pokemon as much as the next nerd, but I am sick to the back teeth of Pikachu. I have to say it.
Don't forget Pokemon Ranger.
Oh, I'll take that. I'll take. I won't take Pokemon Shuffle. I'll draw the line at Shuffle as well.
Oh, no.
What about Pokemon Channel?
It's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that because I picked that up not long ago on the GameCube. I've got it on in my hands right now.
Anyway, going back on to the actual topic of conversation.
Yes.
What do you make of the constant rumors for Pokemon Switch?
To be honest, I don't know what to believe anymore. I really don't, because we've had this discussion before, haven't we, Afi, where we were talking about a couple of the rumours for Pokemon, and I told you a couple that I heard of, and then you said, actually, no, they've been debunked, it's actually going to be this other thing. And I was like, it's all lies!
It is all lies. It's literally... people need to learn the difference between things that are leaks, things that are rumours. So, just to clarify for people...
But when you say people, you mean me.
No, for everybody that's getting it confused. Specifically for the Pokemon community right now that are getting so anxious and desperate for news. To quote Joe Merrick, the owner of Cerebi.net, a leak is a confirmed bit of information that was released early, so it is true. A rumor is something with questionable authenticity, like it is a rumor that Fortnite might release on the Nintendo Switch, for example. And something that is fake is something that is definitely not true, such as the Switch having a decent online service at launch.
Too soon?
Too soon?
Nah.
Oh, boy. Well, I think what we need to do is we need to turn the topic of conversation to something a little more positive.
Yes.
And what I propose is, well, essentially, I just want to ask, what Nintendo games have you picked up recently, old or new?
Well, in terms of Nintendo games new, I wouldn't say I've picked up the game, but I did download the Sushi Strikers demo for the Nintendo Switch, and was I surprised by how much I enjoy it.
Really? I mean, I've downloaded it, but I haven't tried it yet.
Honestly, I mean, I was very skeptical when it was revealed at E3 last year, And then when I saw that it was coming to the Switch as well, I was just kind of like, okay. Well, then as soon as I saw that there was a demo, I thought, well, I mean, it's a free demo. Let's give it a try. Oh my God, it's strangely addictive for a little puzzle adventure game.
Right, so but what actual games then have you picked up recently, Afi?
Actual games that I've picked up recently. Well, I'm going to have to look at my Switch now because my mind is focused on the games I've been playing,
Fair
like
enough.
demo-wise. I mean, the obvious answer there is Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for the Switch. And it's so good!
Oh, it's so good. I mean, that is the game which has stopped me from going back onto South Park Fractured But Whole.
Well, I mean, it's not really a bad thing to be sidetracked by.
Oh no! In fact, it was only a couple of hours ago, like maybe an hour before we started recording. I'd finished the main legend mode.
Ah.
So yeah, in our discussions prior to the recording, I was in the middle of beating the crap out of Ganon. So, but I've been spending most of the time on that over the last week or two with in adventure mode because I really want to get through that because I haven't done it on the other two versions.
I've only ever been of Hyrule Warriors, and that is the one that came on the 3DS. I was blown away by it. So yeah, I'll be going out to pick a copy of the definitive edition because I've heard nothing but good things about this game.
Oh, it runs
looks
really
amazing.
Well.
It's beautiful.
Right. What else have you picked up recently, Afi?
I've also been one that I will openly admit to now that a lot of people might not have heard of or be aware of or might think, what? There is a Nintendo Wii game called Go Vacation that I picked up recently. It's only a small few pounds in a certain secondhand shop, but there is a new version of that game coming out to the Nintendo Switch as well, and I've heard positive things, so I picked it up, not started playing it yet, mind you, but...
But you wanted to give it a go before possibly getting the Switch version?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. To see it being as popularly talked about as it is, I thought, yeah, I mean, £6, I'm going to give it a go.
Nice. Right. Graham, what have you picked up recently?
Well, recently I've downloaded Yoku, so I'm just waiting until tomorrow so I can have a little bash with that.
So you can actually play it.
Yeah, like I said before, I'm really looking forward to this one. But it was a while since I actually bought anything for my Switch or even my 3DS. I'd say the last game I actually bought for any Nintendo console was about a month back, I'd say, and it was a copy of Resident Evil 2 for the GameCube.
Oh.
Blimey.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did you pick that up from the local second-hand game shop?
No.
Because it appeared in that said second-hand game shop that we've already mentioned earlier. I'm not going to say again. And it was 20 quid or something like that.
Yeah, it was about £20, but I bought it from a very well-known auction site. So
right.
Yeah,
good choice.
Yeah. But I took that round to my friend's house before. We were just talking about the game before. Obviously, with rumours going on of a remake, and obviously the birthday of the game where it turned to, I think it was 20 years old.
I feel old now.
Back. Yeah,
you feel old now. Hold on.
And I thought, I'll buy it. I'll pick it up. I've still got it from the Nintendo 64, but I just don't know if the battery backup's actually still working for it. So instead of opening up the console, opening up the cartridge, replacing the battery and what have you, I just went out and bought the GameCube. Which is it's my favorite Resident Evil 2 game. I think it's a favorite Resident Evil 2 game from any Resident Evil fan. You ask them, they'll probably say, yeah, it's either 4, give or take which one. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously sounds a hell of a lot better than the Nintendo 64 version. It looks a little bit better, but it was just the nostalgia of playing a game when I was I used to play when I was 15, 16, and just continuously play it. No matter, I'd complete it, I'd go straight back onto it. Complete it, go straight back onto it.
And you managed to play it so much you were able to play as the sushi. Not sushi.
Oh, the tofu.
Because we were talking about sushi strikers.
Yeah.
You can play as... It's not sushi, but it's something just as ridiculous. Tofu. You can play as tofu.
Tofu, yeah.
Right, well, I suppose better round this part up, talking about the games that I've picked up recently. So, of course, I'm the same as Afi. I picked up Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. I've been playing it almost exclusively on the Switch since it came out, so I'm making some headway. About 37% through, I say about, adventure mode, but that's only because I looked at it before the recording. But two other titles which I picked up recently, which might surprise some people, and they're both GameCube games. Do you want to hear what they are?
GameCube.
Yeah. Right. So, first one is Wave Race Blue Storm.
Wow.
Managed to pick that up for really cheap, and I've done a few tournaments on it, and graphically it's absolutely beautiful. I'm hoping that my difficulty with the controls is down to HDMI lag on my flat screen telly.
No, you just suck.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, probably do. But yeah, that is fun. I'm really enjoying that. I want to get further in that and unlock some stuff. And another one, which this is one that no one here knows. This is the first time I'm mentioning it. I picked it up yesterday in Southport.
Oh yes.
From a second-hand shop in there. GameCube, Eternal Darkness.
Oh wow.
Oh, blast from the past.
Did that set you back a pretty penny?
£12.
Oh, okay, that's reasonable. Definitely reasonable.
Definitely reasonable. I checked online first before I picked it up, and on a respectable auctioning website, they had auctions that people were bidding, and it was up to about £15-17, and some buy it now ones where they were 20 plus. So they picked this up for £12, with all the original labels and box and everything. In fact, the box is blue, but it's the original box. It is a GameCube box. So yeah, that's a game which I've heard so much about. It's been recommended to me by so many people. I thought, what the heck? I'm going to pick it up, and it's going to be scary. It's going to be scary as heck.
Yeah, I've heard definitely that kind of vibe from it. So
yeah, it's meant to mess
It's been a long
with your
time
mind,
since I
isn't
played
it?
that game.
It's been a while.
It's not to a stage of that game where I did have to cheat and get a guide.
Well,
Yeah,
I won't feel so bad then if I have to do that as well.
Yeah. I did get to a stage, but it became very trippy towards the end as well, I think. It was a very well-made game.
It's one I've heard, like I say, it's been recommended by so many people, and I'm not, beyond Resident Evil, I'm not the kind of person who goes for kind of horror games, but this one is one that has piqued my interest.
It's I'm gonna say, mate, for £12, mate, you've got an absolute steal there, mate.
Yeah, that was a pretty good pickup.
definitely worth getting.
Right, I think this is about all that we've got time for. But I think what we might do is I think we've had a discussion about this before, hadn't we, Graham? About basically we've got a question, and I think we want to hear your take on it. So
Yeah.
go for it, Graham.
Okay, my question is, at the moment there seems to be a huge jump on the Battle Royale bandwagon. And everybody seems to be doing it at the moment. You know, there's Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, there's Fortnite, H1Z1, and even Red Dead Redemption 2 might be jumping on there as well, as if rumors are to be believed. With Nintendo, could they do it? Could Nintendo jump onto this bandwagon? If they could, what games do you think would work? Which franchises do you think would work best with this? Which characters? And how do you think Nintendo would actually approach this? So, if you would like to let us know what your thoughts are on the subject, please will you go on to our Facebook page at Nintendo Manchester,
I think something like Star Fox, if Nintendo were to follow the Battle Royale thing, like I'd like a kind of like a 100 R-Wings and Wolfens in the sky just blasting the bejesus out of each other. I mean, not that I want...
My idea would be more of an arcadey style take on the Mario Kart. 100 drivers, and whoever's last gets eliminated.
Ah, well, see, my idea is a bit
After
more.
the end of the one.
Is a bit more boring than that. I'd probably imagine if they were to jump on this bandwagon, they would incorporate it as an extra feature on Splatoon.
Oh, yes, that'd be an idea.
Yeah. Awesome.
I mean, I will state for the record that I don't want the Battle Royale trend to jump over to Nintendo, but Splatoon would be...
To me, it feels
I don't kind of
natural.
want them to do, but I think they will be doing with Fortnite. I think that's inevitable.
Fortnite for the Switch.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's on your mobile phone, for God's sake. It's going to come out on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you'd like to share your comments, your views, your opinions, disagree with what we've said here, please join us on the Nintendo Manchester Facebook page, where we will have a thread of discussion for what Battle Royale would you like to see Nintendo undertake if they were to jump on the bandwagon.
And it's likely going to be underneath this recording. You'll probably find this recording directly above as well, so you can listen to it again. Right, so I think that's really all the time that we've got for tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in for us. It's been a little bit longer, but you know what pilots are like. They're always longer than the original episodes. We're hoping to condense it down a bit. But nonetheless, be sure to answer that question, and be sure to let us know what you thought. Do you want to hear any more? Was I a bit rubbish? Or what have you? So I'd just like to say it's been a pleasure doing this with you. And I'll say, this has been Affy.
And this has been Graham.
And that's been Andy.
And thank you very much. Good night.